Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update on what's been going on in my life lately. So, I went to the restraining order um, court case, and they determined that I did have a case that the judge said in the instances that were recorded and deliberated on that based on his findings that my ex-husband is out of touch with reality and a textbook abuser. um, So they granted me the restraining order, but they modified the parenting plan. So he gets one overnight a week, which is a little weird for me because I feel like if you have a restraining order against you for violence, maybe you shouldn't have your kids overnight by yourself. But from what I've heard from his mom and I are still on okay terms because she knows he's crazy. So from what it sounds like, the boys spend the night with her, and he comes and visits, and then he goes to his new girlfriend's house. So, um, I'm glad he's got a new girlfriend. Leave me alone. Um, anyway, so that's good. I'd rather them be with her than with him, because at least she's sane. She's already raised kids, and anyway, so, um, my divorce proceedings are going to be in March because I guess if you have a restraining order, the same judge who did your restraining order has to do your divorce case if the deliberation lasted more than an hour, and ours did. Ours lasted forever. I think it was like 5 hours that we were in court, which is a long time. And funny little sidebar: his new girlfriend came to his restraining order hearing. So she has to know what she's getting herself into, right? I married the man, so I'm not one to talk, but he didn't have a restraining order case when I met him, and we were friends for a whole year, and then we dated, and then we got married, and he was, charming, sweet, there for me, and then we got married, and boom, changed on a dime, and he wasn't there for me, and he was angry, and he was violent. But I didn't know that beforehand. But she came to his restraining order hearing, so she knows. She didn't go inside, but she had to have known why she was there, right? I don't know. Anyway, so this year, so that happened in the summer, and now it's January. And actually, I just had my birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to me! Hey, I'm getting closer to 30, but anyway, so on Christmas, he got them Christmas Eve from noon to Christmas Day at noon, and then I picked them up at noon on Christmas Day. And that's like an every other year thing. On the off years, I'll have them like Christmas Eve at like, I think 8 o'clock at night, all through Christmas Day, and then overnight. Um, anyway, so this year was his year to have them Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. And when I get there to pick him up, his girlfriend and her sister walk out to the car, and they give me this look like, you know, kind of like one of those, like, I'm better than you, I got your man kind of look. And, like, really, I should have, like, said, thank you! Like, you took him off my hands for me. And, I don't want him. I divorced him. I have the restraining order against him. He doesn't have one against me. Anyway, so I thought that was funny. Like, I don't want to get back together with someone who treated me terribly. And here they are, like, flaunting it. And I'm like, just wait. Like, I don't want that to happen to you. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but just wait, because he's treating you real sweet now, but just wait until you get married, and I'm sure they will. He already lives with her, and anyway, so I just thought that was like comical, and I still laugh about it with my sister. I don't talk about that stuff in front of my kids because that's their dad, and I don't want to be the parent who like badmouths the other parent, even though I am on the internet, but they're too young to use the internet. They're infants. Anyway, so all that to say, that's where we're at, waiting for my divorce, which is going to be in March. And all this time, he hasn't helped at all. No. He hasn't bought diapers, even for when he watches them. I'll get like text messages from his mom like the day before they're supposed to go over there for the day, and she'll be like, "Can you remember to pack diapers and formula and milk?" And I'm like, "Can't he do it? He's their dad. Like, I'm not out to spend his money." And truthfully, he doesn't have any. He doesn't work. And I mean, he's got a new job now, but his history is he doesn't work. He doesn't pick high-paying jobs. He doesn't go for high-paying jobs. I'm not out there for his money. But I didn't have these kids by myself, so he should, at least help pay for childcare, because now that he's working, he's putting the kids in childcare on the days he's supposed to have them, and then I have to pay for it. Oh, and then here's the real kicker. Oh, this one makes me so mad. So, PG, Portland General Electric, they messed up, and they kept saying there was nobody on this account for the house that we bought together that now I have. And I called every month for 3 months to set up an account because they were going to shut it off even though I've been paying. They're like, "Well, we see that you've been paying, but there's no account set up." And I said, "Well, I set one up every time, so it should be set up." And so recently I talked to their manager, and the manager said, "Oh, we've been sending refund checks to the person whose name was on it before." So they've been sending my money to my ex-husband, which should have been going to my electricity, where his kids live all the time. God, I don't understand. And they don't come back to me. He doesn't put him in the diaper bag so I can have him. No, he's cashing them, spending my money, even though he doesn't pay for squat. Oh, it pisses me off. And I'm pretty sure that's fraud. So I talked to my lawyer about it. Well, she didn't get back to me yet. But, it's not going to go good in the divorce case if he's taking money, that was going to provide light and heat for his kids. It's just, God, I can't even believe it. I'm so irritated by it. I knew he was ridiculous, but I didn't know he was, fraud ridiculous. Abusive, obviously, I knew. I didn't know before I married him, but anyway, and that's another thing. I've gotten a lot of weird and rude comments in my, personal life. Not online, because nobody watches this channel, but I had a coworker that I don't really know. She works at a different department, so I see her, coming and going, but I don't really talk to her that much other than, just, "Hey, how are you? How's your day going?" And so she asked me, right after Thanksgiving, if I was done Christmas shopping, and I said, "Well, I have a couple more things to get for my kids, but yeah, pretty much." And she said, "Well, what does your husband do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not married anymore. We got divorced." And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And I said, "Oh, don't be sorry. It's for the better." And she goes, "Well, it's never really for the better. That's just something we tell ourselves to make divorce seem okay when it's not." And I'm like, "Well, he was abusive, so in my case, yeah, it's for the better." And she said, "Well, you know what Dr. Laura says?" And I said, "Nope, don't follow her, don't care." And she said, "Well, Dr. Laura says you had to have known before you married him. There had to have been warning signs." I'm like, how rude. You don't even know me. And no, there weren't. Because, a lot of abusers can hide their struggles until they get married. And, we were best friends for a year. And he dated other people during that time. I didn't. We were just friends. We were good friends. And so he would have had no reason to hide that side from me because we weren't together. We were just friends. But, anyway, then we dated and we got married. And, things were fine until, he flipped his switch and was, crazy. So, but I didn't get into all that with her because, I don't even know her. I don't need to justify my actions to her. Anyway, so I just don't understand the audacity of people. It gives you the right to tell someone else, like, oh, you should stay in your abusive relationship because you got married. Like, yeah, I believe in, like, staying together. And truthfully, if he wasn't abusive, I probably would have still been in that marriage, even though, if he had just, like, not been home very much, or, like, just one thing that he did, like, I probably could have gotten over it. But, he was violent, he cheated on me, he, was never there for me. And then when he was there, he was, like, mad about everything, crazy. If it was just one of those things, I could probably deal, but, that's a lot to ask someone to overlook. And, what kind of life is that for your kids? I mean, my 3-year-old still says, like, hey, Mama, remember when you were mad? And I said, no, when was I mad? And he said, when Dada was yelling at you and you were crying because Dada was yelling at you. And I was like, yep, I remember that, Bubba. And then I said, like, oh, that's why we don't yell at people, because it hurts their feelings. And he goes, I don't want you to cry, Mama. And I said, I know, bud. I know. I was like, everything is going to be okay, because he's only 3. He just turned 3. So I'm trying to, like, allow him to talk about, like, things that, are obviously very upsetting to him. The last time I talked to my ex-husband was, like, September, October, November, like 5 months ago. And he still remembers it so vividly, my son. So, that kind of, like, solidifies that, like, I did the right thing for me. Because I don't want my kids to grow up thinking, like, that's okay. And, like, or to see their mom be a punching bag. That's not a good example. Anyway, so that's what's going on now. I'm homesick today and have to go pick up my kids pretty soon. Today's one of the days that they're, like, with their dad during the day. So I gotta go pick them up from my in-laws. Well, outlaws. Ex-laws? I don't know. Anyway, so I gotta go. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.